Yeah, so you can text and then I can be able to read your comments. So let's start the class. So right now I'm going to talk about principles of inheritance, and just give me 1 second. Yeah. So let's start the topic. So today I'm going to talk mainly about, I'm sorry that I have to restart again the whole thing. First I'm going to talk about what are the different principles of inheritance. Then I'm going to talk about why did Mendel specifically choose only pea plant? Why didn't he work on other humans or like other animals? And why did it take so long for his work to be recognized? And also, why is this pea plant very unique? And I'm going to also talk about what are the different reasons that it took a lot of time for his work to be recognized, and basic terms and important terms in genetics is what I'm going to discuss. And also I'll be talking about what is heterozygous alleles, homozygous alleles, and all of it you'll understand once I talk about it, and also what are the exceptions. So let's begin our topic. So first, coming to principles of inheritance. So here, first I'm going to talk about heredity. So what happens in heredity is nothing but transfer of traits from parents to progeny. Okay, so I'll be explaining in English as well as in Hindi, because like two of my students for whom I'm taking this specific class, I just wanted to give a quick demo. So I did not put it out anywhere. So this is the first time I'm taking it, so bear with me. So as in a live session. So heredity means, for example, we get a characteristic features from our parents, like if our hair looks similar to our mother, they say that, hey, your hair looks pretty much like your mother, you look very similar like your mother. So that is because something is being passed from parents to children. Okay, and at that point of time no one knew about chromosomes, DNA, genes and everything. So Mendel specifically said that there is some kind of factors that's being passed on from one to another. Okay, so that is about heredity. Next we have inheritance. So one more thing, like few students are, just give me a second. Yeah, if you have any questions you can definitely type it in the chat box. Okay, yeah, and I can see the questions. So if any questions, you can let me know. Okay, so yeah, if I get a message I'll stop for a few seconds to reply and then I'll get back. So inheritance means process of heredity is called as inheritance. Means, like for example, that is being passed on from generation. Like your grandfather's house, your father might be staying in that house, and then now you're staying in that house. Means that house is inherited. The whole process of heredity is called as inheritance. Okay, now what is variation? Variation means degree of difference between parents and progeny or two progeny. Now, what is meant by that? So what is meant by that is, like for example, you do not look exactly similar like your siblings, right? There is some little difference at least, right? Other than if you're identical twins, there's always a difference between two progeny, as well as there is a difference between how you look and your parents look. Like for example, if I have to explain it in Hindi, hereditary का मतलब ये होता है कि पेरेंट्स से जो आपको वो फीचर्स आते हैं उसको हेरिडिटी बोलते हैं. इनहेरिटेंस मतलब ये पूरा प्रोसेस जो है हेरिडिटी का, उसका मतलब ये प्रोसेस है इनहेरिटेंस. वेरिएशन मतलब हमारे पेरेंट्स और हम बहुत अलग तरीके से दिखते हैं. सिमिलरली हमें और पेरेंट्स में कुछ डिफरेंस होता है और प्रोजेनी में भी डिफरेंस होता है. Okay, one student is saying she can't hear me. Just wait. Okay, so next, father of genetics is Mendel. ठीक है? So I'm following NCERT textbook only, but the thing is, like, first I'm trying to give you general introduction. So do not expect in this today's class you'll learn all about principles of inheritance. I'm basically giving you intro. Okay? Mendel ने observe क्या किया था? उसने observe किया था, उसका पूरा observation सिर्फ pea plants पे था. He did not observe anything other than pea plants. Okay? Why means when he was working, he noticed that the plants are either small or tall. उसका ऑब्जर्वेशन था कि प्लांट्स इधर टॉल हैं या तो शॉर्ट हैं. ठीक है, तो अगर प्लांट टॉल है शॉर्ट है इसमें क्या अजीब है? मतलब दिस इज समथिंग दैट एवरीवन ऑब्जर्व्ड इज व्हाट यू माइट थिंक. नो, इफ यू सी ह्यूमंस, वी आर ऑफ डिफरेंट टाइप्स. वी आर टॉल, वी आर शॉर्ट, वी आर ड्वार्फ, वी हैव लाइक डिफरेंट, समटाइम्स हैंड माइट नॉट बी नॉर्मल, समटाइम्स देयर माइट बी सम अदर डिसऑर्डर्स, राइट? बट पी प्लांट्स बहुत यूनिक थे. उनके पास 7 ट्रेट्स थे जो लाइक इधर वो टॉल होता था या तो शॉर्ट होता है. समझ में आ रहा है? तो यूनिक फीचर्स थे कि पी प्लांट्स were having 7 kinds of unique traits. That is the reason. So I'm going to ask you in the chat box for 2 of the students who have joined. So let me put it this way. Why did Mendel choose green pea? And I have already explained this topic to both of the students who are already here. So I hope to get an answer. Okay, by the time the children answer, let me go ahead. So he started his work at 1856 and ended his work, like, you know, he took it 7 long years. Okay, and his work was published in a local paper in 1865, that is after his experiments, and his work was later rediscovered in 1900. You see, there's a lot of gap. So basically what Mendel did was he applied maths and statistics. Okay, his main application was a plus b whole square, which we'll be talking about soon in the next slide. And he applied maths and statistic rules to biology. Like, what did he do really is he saw a tall plant, like I told you. Let's go with the standard example, and a short plant. He mated them. Okay, then sometimes he saw tall plants. Okay, he did not see short plants. So when you're mating 2 things, 50% chance is there, right? See, your father might be tall, your mother might be short in height. So there is a chance that as we are a product of parents, there might be 50% chance that we are tall, or there might be 50% chance we are short. Now if there is a kid that is born tall, that means this tall factor is dominant over here. And why is it so? So this is what Mendel was trying to understand. When he tried to cross a tall pea plant and a short pea plant, he noticed that the plant is tall. It means the tall factor is dominant. Okay, so now, are we clear till here? You can leave your comment in the chat box. I am taking the class in the laptop, but I can see on my phone. Okay, let's move on. So, why did it take so long for his work to be rediscovered is because many of the scientists were disapproving his whole application system. Like बहुत सारे साइंटिस्ट बोल रहे थे कि मैथ्स और स्टैटिस्टिक्स को तुम बायोलॉजी में क्यों इन्वॉल्व कर रहे हो, इसीलिए उनका एक्सपेरिमेंट चला तो 7 साल था, लेकिन उसका मतलब आफ्टर हिज डेथ ओनली हिज वर्क वाज बीइंग गिवन वैल्यूड. ओके, नेक्स्ट. अभी मेंडल ने पी प्लांट्स क्यों चूज किया? क्षमा, अगर तुम्हें मतलब एटलीस्ट सिर्फ स्क्रीन दिख रहा है तो तुम सिर्फ लाइक ऑडियो सुन के भी आंसर दे सकती हो. मैं बाद में तुम्हें इसका लिंक भेज दूंगी, ठीक है, और नोट्स भी भेज दूंगी. तो अभी सिर्फ ट्राई करो अंडरस्टैंड करने का, ये कल का रिवीजन ही है. ओके, तो व्हाई डिड मेंडल चूज पी प्लांट्स? इससे पहले मैं तुम्हें ये बता रही थी कि 3 साइंटिस्ट जो मैंने लिखा है उन लोगों ने उसका वर्क रीडिस्कवर किया था 1900 में कि नहीं, मैथ्स और स्टैटिस्टिक्स अप्लाई किए जा सकते हैं. मेंडल हमेशा बोलता था कि टॉल प्लांट और शॉर्ट प्लांट को जब मिलाएं तो अगर टॉल बना तो इसका मतलब ये है कि कुछ तो फैक्टर पास ऑन हुआ ये टॉल प्लांट से शॉर्ट प्लांट तक, कुछ तो फैक्टर ट्रांसफर हुआ. ठीक है, वो फैक्टर क्या है? तो ये टॉपिक पे सारे साइंटिस्ट ने वर्क करके रीडिस्कवर किया. ओके, नाउ पी प्लांट्स ही क्यों लिया? पी प्लांट्स इसीलिए लिया था उन्होंने कि क्योंकि उसमें 7 यूनिक ट्रेट्स थे. वो क्या ट्रेट्स हैं यहाँ पे आपको दिखाई नहीं देगा, लेकिन मैं सिर्फ स्क्रीन पे एटलीस्ट कलर्स तो दिखाई दे रहे हैं, इसीलिए मैंने ये रखा. तो द मेन reason why Mendel took pea plant is it has 7 specific characteristics. ओके, 7 स्पेसिफिक कैरेक्टर्स. ये था कि पी प्लांट का फ्लावर था either पर्पल या तो वाइट. पी प्लांट का फ्लावर्स दे यूज टू ब्लॉसम either in the axial or terminal. Okay, they used to be axial or terminal, so they were axial or terminal. And the color was either yellow or green. Next, it was either round or wrinkled. Either it was round or wrinkled. Next, it is inflated or constricted. Next, in this inflation also, it is cylindrical shaped in the pod color. I'm talking about the pod's color. The pod color is green or yellow. Next, it is either tall or dwarf. So, I hope you all can see the screen. So I hope you all can see the screen. I have right now told that there are 7 specific characters. So again I'm telling, the reason that Mendel chose this basically is because उसमें 7 specific characters थे. either उसके पी के फ्लावर्स थे पर्पल या वाइट. फ्लावर का पोजीशन था एक्सियल मतलब साइड में, या टर्मिनल मतलब सबसे ऊपर. either येलो और ग्रीन था, या तो राउंड और रिंकल था, या तो पॉड्स मतलब जैसे आपने मटर ओपन करने की कोशिश करेंगे घर पे तो आप देख सकते हो ना उसका शेप कैसे होता है, एकदम लाइक ऐसे सिलिंड्रिकल शेप्ड होता है. और जब ओपन करते हो तो अंदर आपको पॉड्स दिखते हैं, और वो पॉड होता है लाइक इधर ग्रीन कलर या येलो, या तो हाइट होता है टॉल या शॉर्ट. ठीक है, नाउ आई विल गिव एन एग्जांपल टू बोथ ऑफ यू एंड यू बोथ हैव टू सेंड मी एन आंसर राइट नाउ. तो अगर ह्यूमंस पे हम लोग कुछ एक्सपेरिमेंट्स करने की कोशिश करें तो क्या होता है, बहुत सारा टाइम लेता है. मतलब सोचो, अगर ग्रैंड पेरेंट्स पे हम लोग एक्सपेरिमेंट्स करें, फिर पेरेंट्स बनने के लिए एटलीस्ट लाइक 25 ईयर्स हो जाएगा, 30 ईयर्स भी हो सकते हैं. फिर नेक्स्ट जनरेशन, तो जनरेशन से जनरेशन तक ये जो रिप्रोडक्टिव साइकिल है वो बहुत लंबा होता है. लेकिन पीज में क्या है कि साइकिल बहुत छोटा होता है, तो इट इज एन एनुअल साइकिल. Okay, the cycle is annual cycle, and they have 7 specific characters, and also it is a bisexual plant. इट इज़ अ बाइसेक्सुअल प्लांट। मतलब क्या है कि इस पी प्लांट को अगर आप लो तो उसमें ही ओवरी होता है और इसमें ही स्टेमन होता है। तो इसको एक्सपेरिमेंट्स करने के लिए बहुत आसानी होती है। तो बोथ ऑफ यू प्लीज टाइप इन द चैट बॉक्स why only peace. It's right on the screen. Why only peace? Yes, yes, you said that it would take a really long time. Yes, humans will take a really long time. That's the reason like we don't experiment much. He did not experiment this much. Yes, they are seasonal plants. Okay. And main reason is of the 7 specific characters. Okay, so am I clear? Like, am I audible properly? Because I can't see myself, that's why I'm asking. Abhi, myself, okay. I was just trying to play the audio on my other device. Now let's go ahead. Okay, let's go ahead. Now, the reasons is I told you the lack of communication and scientists disapproved of application of mathematics and statistics into biology. Pea plant is either large or small, and it was explained by the Mendel. So the Mendel was saying when we are mating a tall plant and a short plant, if a tall plant is the product, if this is the baby, then it means the tall factor has been passed from this to this. Okay, so he named that as factor. All right, now we know that the things that are being passed, like suppose if our father is tall and you are tall, that's because the gene transfer is there. The gene transfer is there, and that is also because of chromosomes. But at that time no one knew what chromosome and gene is, so Mendel said there is something called as factor. Now let us see this. So here what is happening is curly hair mother and father is straight hair. Now when they have children, they are not exactly same. They are a little bit different. Like here you can see on the screen, on the first generation they have mated, one is mating with straight hair, and on the right side it is straight hair with the curly hair. Now there is like a mix. So why is there this mix? Why, when a tall pea plant and a short pea plant is getting mated, why is there only a tall plant? Okay, and if suppose suddenly what happens is, if a tall plant and a short plant are mated, it can be a short plant also. So how is this exactly happening? So let us learn like how this is happening. So what happens is, example, okay, this is your father and this is your mother. Okay, this is the father, this is the mother. Now this is the hair. All right, so here what happens is, we all know that we are diploid organisms, right? We get 23 chromosomes from the father, 23 chromosomes from the mother, so it is 46 chromosomes, and we are the child. All right, so here father has straight hair, mother has curly hair. All right, so here what am I trying to tell you is, every chromosome has DNA, and same character of gene in chromosome is called homologous chromosome. इसका मतलब okay, क्या है ना कि ये DNA स्ट्रक्चर है ना, हमारे बॉडी में डबल हेलिकल स्ट्रक्चर DNA का स्ट्रक्चर होता है, वो सबको पता है. तो पोजीशन ऑन द DNA, ठीक है, अगर ये पार्ट ले, ठीक है, ओके, टेक दिस और एल्स टेक हियर, आई हैव रिटन दैट दिस इज द पोजीशन ऑन द क्रोमोसोम. ओके, सेम सोचो कि 10th क्रोमोसोम है. ऑल राइट, तो अभी तुम्हारा यहाँ पे 10th क्रोमोसोम जो है ये, और मदर का 10th क्रोमोसोम जो है, ये दोनों डिसाइड करते हैं कि आपका हेयर कलर क्या है. Okay, this specific chromosome on the hand and this specific chromosome on the hand of the father and the mother are going to decide the hair color of the child. Okay, Now, if it is the similar type of chromosomes, that this chromosome is going to decide the hair color of the child, which is present on the father and the mother, then that chromosome is called as homologous chromosomes. Homologous chromosomes means what? Now, please leave in the chat box, what did you understand by homologous chromosomes? So, again, on the screen, you can see that I'm telling you like a particular, okay, a particular chromosome is there, 10th chromosome on the father and the mother. And if they are on the same position, and if they are deciding the same factor, that is, they are going to decide the factor about the hair. And you can see here that both chromosomes are similar. What are those chromosomes called? Yes, every chromosome has DNA, but I'm telling you what is meaning of homologous chromosomes. What is homologous chromosomes? Are they the same character of gene, or what is it? Are they same character of gene in the chromosome? Like here, suppose this is 10th chromosome on the father, this is 10th chromosome on the mother. This is 10th chromosome on the father, this is 10th chromosome on the mother. Here, what am I trying to tell you is, same character of gene is present, that is the hair color gene. And here also same characteristic gene is present, that is hair color gene. Now, as it is deciding the same feature, can you tell me what is this type of chromosome? Is it a homologous chromosome or a heterozygous chromosome? Okay, so I hope you have understood that it's homologous chromosome. It's right there on the screen. Next. Now we have studied about homologous chromosome. Now what is a locus? Let me try to change the color so that it will be more easy. So homologous chromosome, I have already explained that. So suppose this is 10th chromosome of the father, this is 10th chromosomes of the mother, and both are same, and they are going to decide the same feature, that is, they are going to decide hair color example. That is called homologous chromosome. Now in that specific part of the chromosome, मतलब ये जो specific area है, मतलब अगर तुम्हारे हाथ में तो थंब फिंगर एक एरिया पे है ना, तो सोचो कि वो स्पेसिफिक एरिया जो है, ये स्पेसिफिक स्क्वायर एरिया जो है, इसको लोकस बोलते हैं. समझ में आ रहा है आपको लोकस क्या है? यू कैन टाइप इन द चैट बॉक्स. यस और नो. Okay. Next, it's one of my favorite professors who has joined the chat actually. Very nice to see you, sir. So, okay. Fatima is saying that she did not get it. So here on the screen, again, I'm going to explain it. These are the basic important terms which you have to know to understand the genetics. All right. Every diploid organisms, there are two sets in pair. You get 23 chromosomes from the father and 23 chromosomes from the mother. This is very basic. That's why we have 46. Okay. Every chromosome has DNA. This part, I hope we are clear. And there is same character of gene in chromosome. If same character of gene is present in both mother and father, then that chromosome is called as homologous chromosome. Like here on this female, you can see that this specific area is going to decide hair color. This specific area on the father is going to decide the hair color. Okay, now that can be 10th chromosome on both of them. So this 10th chromosome is called as homologous chromosome. Okay. Okay, Fatima, did you get that? Thank you, sir. and thanks for teaching. It made the subject very easy, and there's a lot to learn from you. I'm still trying to learn, and yes, thank you. Now about the gene. Fatima, did you understand till there? Okay, so you know what, I'll try to tell something else so that you guys can understand it more clear. Till here we are okay, right? So what did Mendel really observe? Before that, I still have to tell you few of the things. Any piece of the DNA makes RNA. Okay, if one DNA is going to make RNA, it can be mRNA, transcription, translation RNA, that is called as gene. Okay, which further makes proteins to decide the character. Now, do not get confused or hyper. It's very simple. Any piece of the DNA will make RNA. Okay, so this DNA there are 3 types of RNA. So this is all molecular biology, which we'll be learning later. But for now, remember, any piece of the DNA will make RNA, and that is called as, it's called gene. Okay, which further makes protein. मतलब इसका मतलब क्या है कि, for example, suppose this is the father, this is the mother. Okay, this is the father, this is the mother. Now, the protein present on the 10th chromosome, or any chromosome for that matter, here there is good protein, and in the mother there is a faulty protein. Think, okay, and mother has curly hair. Okay, father has straight hair. Now, if there is a faulty protein in the mother and good protein in the father, in the child, which protein will be dominant? Is the good protein. Of course, whatever is good will be passed on. So this particular character of straight hair will be passed on to the child. Okay, did you understand this specific part over here? Okay, so again, any piece of the DNA, here again, if you do not understand, you can type in the chat box, Fatima, so that I can explain on the screen. So part of the DNA will make RNA, and it helps in synthesis of proteins. Okay, now here I have given you an example of the hair color. Now the father has straight hair, not the color, the type of hair. Mother has curly hair. Now here what is happening? Suppose the father has good protein and the mother has faulty protein, then the child will get the good protein and end up with the straight hair. Okay, now what are the different characters and what are the different traits? So eye color, it can be any color, right? I have black eye color, you might have brown, gray, blue, green, anything. So character means the color, traits means the types. Okay, now, so when can you see faulty genes? So I told you, faulty gene or faulty protein is the same thing. DNA makes RNA, RNA makes gene, and gene is nothing but protein. Okay, we are clear till here. Now, what happens if there is a faulty gene? And where can you see this faulty gene? Is mainly when the DNA, the double helical structure DNA is damaged. It can be due to UV radiation or it can be due to carcinogens. Okay, now if there is faulty gene, there will be faulty protein and it would not be expressed. Okay, now I'll give you another example. Fatima, you have to answer me this. Okay, now this is tall, this is short. Okay, now what happens is there is good gene over here and a faulty gene over here. Now the child is short. It means the faulty gene has come over, right? Now which factor is dominant over here? Is it tall or short? Which factor is dominant? Which factor is dominant? Fatima, I'm waiting for your reply. I'm repeating the question till you answer it in the chat box. Tall father is there, short mother is there. Father has good gene, mother has faulty gene, but the child is short. It means the faulty gene has passed through the child. Now, which factor is dominant? In the short child, is the tall factor dominant or the short factor dominant? It is very simple. It's on the screen. The short factor is dominant, right? That's the reason that it is a dwarf. Now again, I'm going to explain. Just type in the chat box if you have understood it or not. The father is tall, the mother is short. Okay? So what is happening over here? Father is tall, mother is short. Mother has faulty gene. Okay? Now the child is short. It means the faulty gene has been passed from the mother to the child, so the child is dwarf. So dwarf means short. So which factor is dominant? Is it, do you see a tall child? Do you see a short child? Here you see the short child, so the short is dominant. Okay? Okay. So now one character, two genes come together and form allele. Okay? Now for example, if it is a tall plant and this is a short plant, what it means is, for example, let me show you this. So every character has two genes, that is called allele. Means it can be, if it is written like this, it means this allele, this representation is called as allele, and this is gene. Two genes are there, two tall genes are there present in this. Okay, alleles are those genes that code for same character. This allele is mainly coding for which character? It is coding for tall character. Alleles का मतलब होता क्या है कि वो कुछ नहीं है, वो दो जीन को मिला दो तो एलील बोलते हैं उसको, ठीक है? और alleles are those genes that code for the same character. ठीक है? Now, same locus and same character code. This is another way of explaining allele. You just have to remember allele means दो genes मिला के उसको allele बोलते हैं. तो फातिमा, यहाँ पे जो स्क्रीन पे तुम्हें दिखाई दे रहा है, ये टॉल प्लांट पे मैंने लिखा टी, कैपिटल टी, मतलब स्मॉल टी को मैं ऐसे रिप्रेजेंट करूंगी. ठीक है? तो यहाँ पे एलील्स में कितने जीन्स हैं? How many genes are present in this totally tall allele? How many genes are present? There are two genes present. Okay, so I think it's getting too much confusing. So let's stop the class till here. I'll give you a quick review, but just let me know if you have understood what is allele, or should I repeat it again? So allele means those genes that code for same character. Like अगर मैं यहाँ पे लिख रही हूँ टी, इसका मतलब ये कोड कर रहा है हाइट के बारे में, टॉल हो या शॉर्ट हो. अगर मैं येलो और ग्रीन लिखूँ तो अगर ये YY, ये स्मॉल YY, बड़ा like the capital letter Y is mainly what is it indicating? This is indicating yellow, small is indicating green. So allele is nothing but two genes that is coding for same factor. That is, over here it is the color, over here it is the height. Okay, so let me just give a quick recap till here. So here till now we have studied about principles of inheritance. Heredity means like from transfer of the traits from parents to progeny. Inheritance means the whole process of heredity is called as inheritance. Variation means there is some difference, right? You don't look exactly similar like your siblings. You don't look exactly similar like your parents. There is little difference, right? That is called variation. Father of genetics is Mendel. Ignore the below part. This is all NCERT, which I'll be again discussing later. Today we are just doing a intro session. Now, What did Mendel observe? The first thing, like, let me tell you something. He was a monk initially, like he was a scientist, then a monk, and then again started doing his experiments, which is really interesting because when he was in his garden, he observed that pea plants are either tall or short. There is nothing like in between. There is no medium. It means when he tried to mate them, he saw that again they are either tall or short. And then he's like, why is there no other, he found these peas very interesting because he's like, there's something that's coming from the tall plant to the baby. There is a transfer of something that he named it as factor. Okay, and he worked on this for 7 long years. All right, and he gave 3 laws of inheritance. We'll be studying in tomorrow's class. So his work was published in 1865, but his work was only discovered, sadly, only after his death. And there were 7 traits that he observed. That is, the flowers of these pea plants are either purple or white. The flowers are terminal or axial. They are yellow or green, round or wrinkled, inflated, constricted, and the pod color is green or yellow, and the length is tall or short. Okay, and the main reasons at that point that his work was not being recognized is because lack of communication, and many scientists were not okay of his application of maths and statistics to biology. Okay, now this is an example where you see that, for example, if example is your parents might be like 5 feet 7 inches and you might end up 6 foot. That's because your grandparents were that height. It means that there is a factor of height that is being transferred from your grandfather to you. Do you understand? जो आपके grandfather का height था वो आपको आया. इसी वजह से हम बोल रहे हैं, like Mendel उस टाइम पे बोल रहे थे कि there is something called as factor that is being transferred from grandfather to the child. ठीक है, फादर के पास 23 क्रोमोसोम्स होते हैं, मदर के पास 23, इसलिए हमें 2n, that is 23 into 2, 46 होता है. ठीक है, now here I have explained you every chromosome has DNA and a part of DNA, ठीक है, उसमें like in the chromosome, if it is coding for the same character. Now part of DNA of the father and mother, this is father, this is mother, and the father is mainly in the same part, the same piece of DNA and this same piece of DNA. Okay, they are coding for the same factor, that is hair color or type, whatever. Okay, that is called homologous chromosomes. Means the homologous chromosomes, the example I have given over here, might decide the hair color, might decide the hair type. Okay, if they are same, that is called as homologous chromosomes, and that specific place is called as locus. And any piece of the DNA makes RNA. It can be any type of the RNA, and if one DNA makes RNA, it is called as gene, which further makes protein, which decides the character. Okay. So now I have told you, if there is any faulty gene can happen due to UV radiations or carcinogens. For example, here this is a tall father, this is a short mother, the child is short. It means the short is a dominant factor. Okay, so that's all for today's class. Do you guys have any questions? Okay, so I hope we are clear. Okay. Thank you for watching, and please do like, share and subscribe. Thank you.